someone that you're probably going to make me put a song on our best of list, and I'm going to be very upset about it. The 1975, an inquiry into
A brief
didn't write
inquiry
it down. A brief
into
inquiry
online.
into online relationships. I mean, interesting title. Seems like they're trying very hard to be catchy and deep.
It's
Is my
shorter than the
initial
last one.
good point. Yeah, the 1975. Their first album dropped 5 years ago, 2013,
Yep, that's right.
and since then they've been growing steadily into probably one of the most popular, I guess, rock like synth pop acts in the world. And this album has been lauded as one of the best of the year. I think Time put it at number 9 in their best albums of the year. And it's been getting compared to OK Computer or Kid A, one of those, one of the most influential rock songs of the rock albums of the last 30 years. Dave, is this album this good? Is this transcendent?
It's funny. I think a lot of the lauding of the album is very meta. Like it's like the lyrical content in terms of what they're talking about. It's such a good analog to what like life is in 2018, online and stuff. I think that's really the source of why people like it so much, is because they find the album very of the moment and also very relatable. And as far as list making goes, that is a pretty good reason.
Yeah, sure.
And if you do like the music, and then you have that reason on top of it, I think it makes sense why a lot of people really like the album. And obviously, as you've led on, you're not a fan at all. I actually like a fair amount of it, and I actually am much more intrigued about this band than I was before this album came out. That's for sure.
And I actually will agree with that sentiment, which is, I think, saying a lot about how much I didn't like them before. That an album which I did not enjoy very much actually made me more interested in them moving forward. I do think there's moments on this and a couple of songs in particular that stand out that I say, oh, okay, I get it. And I can see why people really, really love this band. I think if I was 16 or 17, I would probably find them very intriguing because I'd be like, wow, I'm very deep for listening to this music. Like, check me out. I'm super woke. I don't know, man. I found I was texting you the other day when I was listening to it. I was keeping a track by track, like just journal of my experience. I wrote down a lot of Z's for being just totally asleep or not intrigued by a song. I actually thought the back half of the album had some of the best moments. Like I thought Mine, even though it's kind of cheesy in ways and very like soft song. Also interesting to have like a jazz song on an album. I think people expect it to be conventional pop or pop rock. I give Matt Healy a lot of credit for trying to do a lot and trying to pull a lot in. I just think that for how much attention they get and how people laud them as like, I don't know, the next Radiohead or writing the next We Didn't Start the Fire, I don't see it. Like it just doesn't hit with me. Not for me.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think all frame of reference for talking about 1975, whether you're a fan of them or being anti-fan, they're not a rock band. They're a pop act that has guitars. They don't make rock music. And they jump around genres quite a bit, and I think that actually helps make this album fun to listen to because the moments are varied in that regard. But this is not rock. Like next thing you tell me that modern day Panic at the Disco is rock. It's the same thing,
right?
It's just not. And that I'm not saying you can't like it, but don't call it rock because it's not really rock. That's kind of the issue. We don't have rock right now. All our rock is 21 Pilots, not rock. 1975, not rock. Or Greta Van Fleet, 40-year-olds rock, 40-year-old rock. So there's like, or it's Imagine Dragons and Mumford & Sons, rock that's about nothing from people that have nothing to say. So I think rock fans knowingly will be frustrated when you throw Radiohead out there and talk about this band, or even Billy Joel, right? Yeah. And I understand that. And I think that's a fair response. But I think if you view them as a contemporary pop act, I think that it's a better frame of reference, and I like them in that regard. I thought, they had moments that, like you said, it's a lot of moments on this, and I thought a song like "Sincerity"
It's
is
scary.
scary
Yeah.
towards the middle. That has a chorus, man. That has a cool background chorus, and I was like, "Fuck!" I actually love this song. This song's dope. And then, like you mentioned it, "Love It If We May." That's like the big hit. It's not even that much of a hit right now, but it's the big song of the album. It's usually the one people are talking about. It's been compared to "We Didn't Start the Fire" in terms of lyrical content because it's funny. I did not hear that until people started saying that, and I still
Right.
don't really hear it. It's like it's about like
It's in the
you know
same vein, I
yeah, it's like
guess.
yeah, it's funny. One of my friends actually brought up "It's the End of the World" by REM as a
Right.
comparison,
Yeah.
which makes sense in terms of the subject matter, but it's also a very simple bop beat,
hmm
And I don't
Yeah.
know, I just it's an album that just flows until you really start listening to what he's actually saying. Um,
When
so
you told me that that was being compared to or called like the millennial "We Didn't Start the Fire," I think I literally wrote like this soft ass track. Like, what is this? Like, it's not interesting. I couldn't believe that that was the one that was supposed to be jumping off to me, and that seems to be the most beloved song from this album. Um, you know, it's actually interesting because I talked about how the second half of the album I really liked. I mean, the names of these songs are just like eye rollingly bad. Like you'd have to pick my eyes up off the floor the first time I read them, but I couldn't be more in love. The 13th song on the album has this really great guitar solo, and like if they wanted to lean into like a little bit more like hard rock, sure, try it. Like bring it on. I think that they could really benefit from adding a little bit more teeth to their songs, but um, I mean, I don't really see like you made a really great point. I don't see a lot of difference between them and like One Direction with like a better backing band. Like,
yeah, I do think that their lyrics are more prescient. Like
sure,
it's more focused lyrics. It's more
yeah,
of the moment lyrics. But yeah, sonically, you're right. Um, I couldn't be more in love. The second last track you just mentioned. The beginning of that song, I think it uses the same exact key as R. Kelly's "I Believe I Can Fly." And then, shout out friend of the show Mike Lennon helped me figure that out. But that was fucking with my brain. I was like, I heard that and I was like, is this R. Kelly? Is this Boyz II Men? I know it's something, and it's only like a lyric and a half, but the whole vibe is similar. And then later in that song, it's like, was it like these feelings uh is also very similar to "I Believe I Can Fly." I was like, it's tough to make a 90s R&B joint these days.
true.
So, and it's not like they're really plagiarizing. So I thought that was, a cool moment once I wrapped my head around it, which took me way too long to figure out.
Uh, what did you think of "I Like America" and "America Likes Me"?
uh, Trash title, but almost as trash. The last song is the worst title. "I Always Want to Die," parentheses, sometimes.
Yeah,
Okay.
fucking so deep, dude. I'm telling you, if I was in high school, this shit would be like right up my alley.
Yeah.
No, I like America and America Likes Me. I just wanted to bring it up because I wrote down like, is this a Young Thug track? Like, it sounds like some dreamy ass like hip hop and like there's like this like cringeworthy distortion on the vocals. I don't know what they were trying to do there, and it didn't really hit, but again, like it's good to have ambition and it's good that they're talking about things and taking chances. I think some of the lyrics people found to be like very deep or interesting. I think we either went over my head or went under my head. I don't know, but overall, I mean, I think that this is maybe one of the most hyped up albums that I can't really get on board with this year. But the 1975 ain't going nowhere, dog. Like we got like 20 more years of this shit.
And honestly, like I like Matty Healy as a frontman. I like him as a, you know, music celebrity. He's a dick as a guy, and he makes for a great quote. And he also like overcame heroin addiction the past year, so he's easy to root
Right.
for in that regard. But yeah, like I think he's definitely the mouthpiece for the band, and he's definitely a hedonist. But also the things they talk about, I think they really speak to people, and it's funny because I mean, like you said, it's like they're really like inspired young people. I think like the quote like white girl like put on the windows, put your head out the window music. It's like it used to be Kings of Leon 10 years ago. Now it's
Yeah, right.
1975, you know?
Yeah.
And Kings of Leon also had critical merits apart from
Hmm.
appealing to the basic white girls. Nothing 1975 are in the same vein. Um, you know, you mentioned the songs like, is this a Young Thug song? I think it's funny. I would love to hear what they could do with some hip hop artists, some more hip hop influence, just because my first experience with the band was when Travis Scott sampled them in 2014, sampled their song Money off their first album. And that song
Hmm.
was great when Travis and Big Sean jumped on that. And that'd be cool. And again, they're not a
Hmm.
rock band. So do what pop artists do. Join with the rappers, you know?
Yeah. Then I mean, to go back to your point about Matt Healy as a front man, um, friend of the pod, unofficial friend of the pod, my girlfriend Julianne, I was listening to an interview with him on XM radio, and he was talking about how he um, he basically has this issue about like he connects with all these fans, and then he goes back to his hotel. He's all alone, and how it's hard for him to kind of have this duality. And he never really feels like a famous person. How he never feels like he's gonna fit in as like a real like pop star, real star. And Julianne was like, if this is what he wrote the album about, and she hasn't listened to it yet, then Lord wrote a better song about this when she was like 13 than this guy probably is ever gonna write. So
Mm,
she's very anti 1975 at the moment.
mhm,
I actually think if she listened to it, she would like it because she's kind of basic at times like that.
mm.
Still love her though, but we're just not going to have a 1975 album in our house. So I'll put it that way. I won't allow it. Uh, but we will have some of their tracks on our best of list. Probably this "We Didn't Start the Fire" for millennials. Um, I mean,
You're so happy about this.
I, I actually wrote down. I just hate his voice. Like, I think the
Hey,
singing just does. I don't
that's
know.
fine. How many times is that the reason I don't like indie rock? It's the same thing.
True, true. I I think it's more like I think I want to like understand more what people like, and I just can't see it. I actually tweeted it out the other day, just like I think that they're bad, and it got a decent amount of response from basic white girls. No
Oh,
offense.
I didn't see that.
Shout out friends of the pod, but it's okay. Although Andrew Richmond totally on our side, so I trust his critical opinion.